In the realm of warfare, a new battleground emerges, the human mind. Welcome to an exploration into humanity's last battleground, neurological warfare, where the mind is the battlefield. Neurological warfare encompasses the use of neuroscience and neurotechnology to manipulate, control, and influence the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of individuals and populations. From psychological operations to neuro-weapons, the tactics of this cognitive battlespace blurs the line between science fiction and reality. Join us as we delve into the depths of this age-old and controversial topic, exploring its history, its implications, and the ethical dilemmas it raises. To understand neurological warfare is to delve into the intricacies of cognition, where manipulation becomes a weapon and control a strategy. These operations encompass a range of techniques and technologies aimed at exploiting the vulnerabilities of the brain for strategic advantage. From psychological operations aimed at influencing perception and behavior, to the development of neuroweapons designed to disrupt neural functions, neurological warfare meets at the intersection of neuroscience and security. By understanding the neural mechanisms underlying cognition, emotion, and behavior, military and intelligence agencies can target specific neural circuits to induce fear, confusion, or compliance. Throughout history, psychological military tactics have taken various forms, from Cold War-era mind control experiments to modern-day efforts to harness neurotechnology for military applications. As we delve deeper into this complex and controversial topic, we'll examine the evolution of neurological warfare, its impact on conflicts and societies, and the future direction it could take. In the annals of history, the tactics of neurological warfare have left an indelible mark on the fabric of human conflict. Historical and contemporary case studies illuminate the complexities of this clandestine realm. The Assyrians are often credited with the first systematic use of psychological terror as state policy. As early as the 9th century BC, they carved brutal images of flaying, impalement, and mass death into stone reliefs and sent them throughout conquered territories. These weren't just records. They were deliberate fear campaigns meant to terrify rivals into submission before a battle was even fought. The reputation of Assyrian cruelty often caused cities to surrender without resistance. By the 5th century BC, Sun Tzu in imperial China codified psychological warfare into strategy, summed up in his famous adage, "To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill." He advocated deception, misinformation, and manipulating perceptions of strength to defeat enemies before swords ever clashed. While the Assyrians used raw terror, Sun Tzu represents one of the first intellectual frameworks for mind-based conflict. Centuries later, in the 13th century AD, the Mongols, under the leadership of Genghis Khan, perfected large-scale fear projection. They spread exaggerated rumors of their ferocity ahead of their armies, as well as eliminating entire populations, such as in Yinchuan in 1227, purely to ensure that the next city would surrender without a fight. They also staged elaborate feigned retreats, making enemies believe they had won before ambushing them. The psychological component was as lethal as their cavalry. In the modern era during the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union conducted covert experiments in mind control and behavior modification, often using unsuspecting individuals as test subjects. One such example is the CIA's MK-Ultra program, which aimed to develop techniques for interrogation and mind control using drugs, hypnosis, and other methods. Today, neuroscientists and military researchers are exploring the use of neurotechnology for strategic advantage. Recent advancements in neuroscience have paved the way for new forms of neurological warfare, including the development of neuro-weapons and brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. These technologies have the potential to revolutionize warfare by targeting enemy soldiers' cognitive functions and disrupting their decision-making processes. From influencing public opinion to destabilizing governments, neurological warfare continues to play a significant role in contemporary conflicts. The ethical implications of this uniquely human strategy and the enduring impact it has on society and global security go without saying. But what is also obvious is that these tactics will not only continue in the future, but will become far more sophisticated and invasive than we can possibly imagine. Neurotechnological advances are rapidly becoming the most potent tools of psychological warfare. Where traditional methods relied on propaganda, coercion, and the slow erosion of morale, the emerging arsenal of neurotech promises direct access to the brain's circuits of perception, memory, and emotion. Brain-computer interfaces, nanotech drug delivery systems, and non-invasive neuromodulation are no longer limited to therapeutic applications. They are being reframed as tactical assets for use on military personnel and civilians alike. If an adversary can alter the way a soldier perceives time, induce fatigue at critical moments, or suppress the emotional bonds that hold units together, entire armies can be dismantled without firing a shot. The battlefield shifts from terrain and airspace to neural networks and synaptic junctions. One of the most immediate applications lies in neuromodulation. Directed energy fields tuned to cortical frequencies could induce confusion, anxiety, or even mass hysteria in targeted populations. Portable devices might disrupt executive functions, rendering leaders incapable of coherent decision-making, or selectively erase traumatic memories in one group while amplifying them in another, fragmenting social cohesion. Psychological operations in the future won't need leaflets or broadcasts. They will reach into the brainstem and limbic system, directly manipulating the substrates of fear, trust, and loyalty. The enemy's beliefs are no longer contested in the marketplace of ideas. They are rewritten in the neurons themselves. Nanotechnology provides the covert delivery system for such operations. Nanobots, introduced under the guise of medical treatment, vaccines, or food supplements, could remain dormant until activated by an external signal. Once triggered, they might release neurochemicals to heighten aggression, suppress empathy, or distort sensory perception. An entire population could be nudged toward paranoia, compliance, or learned helplessness without any visible signs of coercion. Unlike conventional propaganda, neuro-nanotech does not persuade. It compels. It exploits the brain's chemistry to bypass conscious resistance, turning free will into a controllable variable. The psychological dimension of these technologies extends beyond the target to the operators themselves. Neuro-enhanced soldiers and intelligence officers may be equipped to withstand stress, remain hyper-vigilant, and maintain emotional detachment during prolonged campaigns of manipulation. Just as drones distance the pilot from the battlefield, neuro-augmentation distances the operator from ethical hesitation, enabling the execution of neurological warfare with clinical precision. This creates an asymmetry where one side fights with bodies and bullets, while the other fights with minds and memories, tilting the balance irreversibly. Future trends suggest that the integration of AI with neurotechnology will accelerate this evolution. Machine learning systems could analyze brainwave data from entire populations in real time, identifying vulnerabilities and tailoring manipulations to each demographic or even each individual. Neurological warfare will no longer be a broad campaign. It will be personalized, adaptive, and continuous. In this scenario, control is not about silencing dissent, but about preempting it, guiding thought patterns before rebellion can even take shape. The ultimate weapon, therefore, will not be one that eliminates the enemy, but one that convinces him he was never an enemy to begin with. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Only on Cretonium.